In the late 1990s, Mexico was already fighting a war, but it had no idea that its most dangerous enemy was being trained by its own army. They were elite, disciplined, engineered for combat. And soon, they would become something far worse. Special Forces soldiers, trained to hunt the nation's enemies, experts in weapons, intelligence, and psychological warfare. But elite training comes with a price, because the skills that protect a country can also destroy it. Temptation arrived quietly. More money, more power, no rules. A powerful crime organization needed something new. Not gunmen, not thugs, soldiers. The defectors were hired as an enforcement unit. At first, they were simply protectors. But soldiers trained for war do not think like street criminals. They became known as Los Zetas. Mexico had seen cartels before, but never one built like a military unit. Strategy replaced chaos. Planning replaced impulse. Authorities weren't chasing traffickers anymore. They were facing trained combatants. Then, the soldiers stopped following orders. What began as an enforcement arm was becoming something independent. Mexico wasn't prepared for what it had just unleashed. At first, their presence was barely noticed. A convoy seen here, unfamiliar faces there, movements that felt temporary, but they weren't. Because this was never meant to be temporary. It was positioning. Across regions, small signs began aligning into a pattern. Safe houses, supply routes, operational discipline. Not chaotic, not impulsive, strategic. By the time authorities began connecting the dots, the structure was already in place. There was no declaration, no manifesting, no warning, just a quiet transfer of power happening in the background. Mexico had faced cartels before, but it had never faced one trained for war. And soon, the country would learn a terrifying lesson. When discipline meets ambition, violence evolves. The soldiers had crossed the line, but the line they crossed would soon disappear entirely. Because the men who were once trained to protect a nation were about to redefine terror within it. And this was only the beginning.